Okay, so we're recording this session, so if anybody has to leave early, or you want to share it with some colleagues, or it's just so fantastic that you want to watch it again, then we'll be posting it on YouTube in a couple of days, and you'll get a link probably within the next couple of days. Just to introduce the presenters today, my name's Tim Russell. I'm originally from the UK. I'm based in Bangkok, and I'm eRoam's Commercial Director for Southeast Asia. And I also look after our digital marketing. And I've got with me Anthony Hill, who's based in Melbourne and is our CEO. He's going to be probably doing most of the talking today. Do you think? Is that right, Anthony?
No, not true.
No. now your voice is back to its best.
That's why we've got a video to restrict.
So we have a video. Yeah. Just to go through the agenda for today, what we're going to be talking about. We're just going to start off with a few facts and figures about the about travel industry recovery as we start to move out of the COVID-19 pandemic. We're then going to have an eRoam demo. So we've put together a video demo which Anthony's going to narrate for you. Then we are going to look at how eRoam can help drive your travel business's post-pandemic recovery. And then we're going to finish with a Q&A. So as I said, if you've got any questions during the session, just type them in the Q&A box. Let's start with a few stats. I think you all know these figures anyway. This is from the UNWTO. This is the effect of the COVID pandemic on international tourist arrivals, and as you can see globally, versus 2020, we're 83% down this year, 88% down on 2019. Asia Pacific has suffered pretty much the worst. We're 97% down on 2019. But obviously, optimism is gradually starting to return to the industry. Are you feeling that, Anthony? You're sensing from the people that we talk to that optimism is coming back?
Look, everyone, no one knew that this would last for so long. And I think it took the industry a while to realise that, this is going to be around for a little bit, and we've got to relook at what we're selling and how we're selling it. Now in markets all around the world, from North America to Europe to Australia, the domestic tourism is going through the roof. So I think a lot of people have had to rediscover themselves, but I think the numbers, where I'm hearing numbers that are breaking pre-19, pre-COVID numbers in sales in different markets. Because people have retargeted to the domestic market. So I think there's a lot of confidence out there now.
Sure. Which I think is reflected in this next slide. This is a global survey by the UNWTO of when people expect a rebound in international tourism in their country. So we can see in Asia Pacific, nearly a quarter of respondents think international travel is going to rebound in Q4 by the end of this year. The majority, 75%, think by 2022. On a global level, we can see that the rest of the world is probably more optimistic than we are in Asia Pacific, with 16% thinking Q3 this year, 22% by Q4. So that's 39% think it's going to rebound by the end of this year, and the other 60% by next year. Does that kind of tally with what you're hearing when you speak to people, Ant?
Yeah, well, I think it's great news that Phuket's opening up in July to certain markets. I know down here in Australia, we're now in talks with Singapore to open that as a bubble. We've already got New Zealand opened. I think they're talking that Singapore could open in the next quarter. So could the Pacific Islands. So yes, the limited international places are looking very close to be ready to start booking. It's still going to be a while. So yeah, I think, looking at 2022, the second half of 2022 is looking very positive for things to start to get back to more normality.
Sure. Here are some actual forecasts from the UNWTO for 2021 based on scenario one is bookings being 63% down. on last year. Scenario 2 is 75%. So we can see that the UNWTO thinks that as we go through 2021, as we get to the end of 2021, we're going to see a significant increase in bookings on 2021 over 2020, which is what all of us, I'm sure, are hoping for.
And you know, again, you know, like companies like DMCs have been hardest hit by this.
For sure, yeah.
Because, you know, they rely 100% on the international market. But companies that have traditionally looked after the domestic market, they're employing staff at the moment. Their biggest problem is getting availability. Problems that we've got here in Australia is not being able to get staff to work in the restaurants and the hotels. So we've got less inventory available than what the demand is. So yeah, it's interesting times at the moment. The knock-on effect of not having as many international travellers has affected the workforce. But you know, that domestic market sales are through the roof and breaking records. But yeah, it's the DMCs that I can see are really feeling that negative 88% in sales.
Okay, so that's a little bit of a look at the travel landscape and how the industry is gradually getting more optimistic as we move through 2021. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Ant. We're going to play you a little video, an eRoam introduction, which Ant is going to narrate and talk over. So this is going to give you a good introduction to who we are and what we do.
Okay, before you start the video, I just want to give a little bit of a background on eRoam. eRoam has been built, it was built by me and my team to assist in efficiencies in the travel industry. I've owned tour companies in Africa and Europe. I've owned hotels in Asia. And I've owned online travel agents also here in Australia. And the biggest problem I've always faced is the efficiency problem. The efficiency of someone wanting to book something, and then how do we process that in the most efficient way? When all of our travel advisors joined the travel industry, they didn't join it to do a whole lot of paperwork. They joined it because of their passion of travel, their passion of sharing experience with other people. Yet, you know, the reality is at the moment, a lot of the time is spent processing bookings, going to a whole lot of different portals to create the booking. You know, if you're doing a multi-country trip in Asia or North America or self-drive around Europe, you might have 20, 30 different items that after you've gone to those 20, 30 different portals to book everything, then you need to cut and paste all of that into a Word document. So it's a nice itinerary for your client. That can take you half a day. If you're waiting on DMCs or wholesalers to get back to you, it could take you a couple of days. So, you know, what my vision was wouldn't it be great if all of that could be automated? Wouldn't it be great if we could book everything in one platform and do all of the documentation from one platform? So if you're ready to start that video, Tim.
I am. You can see the little video window here on my screen, right? The screen sharing is working. Okay. All right. So let's go.
So I can make that full screen. Fantastic. So, okay, we're in the consultant view here. So it's all password protected. So this isn't for your consumer. This is for your consultants. Tim, it doesn't seem to be playing.
It is. It's definitely playing, but it's...
Okay.
Can you see now?
I can. It's missed about 40 seconds of the video of the, but anyway, let's go through. At the top, you've got flights, so you can book all your flights in the one system. You can book all your hotels in the one system. You can book all your tours in the one system. So these can all be done as product only. But what we're going to show you is create.
Give me one second, Nan. I think there's a problem with the video. It's not playing properly. I'm just going to try a different video application to launch the video. Just bear with me 1 second, everyone. It worked before we started the webinar, and of course now we've started the webinar as always. It's decided not to work. Webinar. Try a different.
You could launch it directly from Slack.
And let me try Windows Media Player.
Well, whilst Tim's putting that together. So yeah, as I was saying, like this is all built around efficiencies. And you know, the goal is to have single entry processes. So when you create an itinerary and it might have 20 different elements, you shouldn't have to fill in that same information over and over 20 times. So it looks like
it's working now.
Okay. Can we go back? Okay, so yep, so you're going through, you're seeing all of the different languages. We can do it in all of the different currencies. This example is in US dollars. You can search for flights only, hotels only, tours and tickets only, or you can create an itinerary. And that's what we're going to focus today's demo on. So here we're starting in Sydney, then going to Hanoi, adding in Ho Chi Minh, and then adding in Sydney. So you create the itinerary to start off with, put in the estimated departure date, how many travelers, and then we say that we don't need any nights at the beginning or end in Sydney. Next, you can go through all the preferences. Which class of travel would you like? What are your different activities that you would like to include? And then you click on search. Now, if you want to add a tour, here we've got direct access to all of the major tour operators. Here you can see a selection of all of the Hanoi to Hanoi trips, or when I clicked on direct tours, it's showing all of the Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh tours. You can see we've got direct connections here with G Adventures, Intrepid, Trafalgar. So when you're doing the booking in this system, you're actually doing it in the G Adventures or Intrepid or Travel Corporation's booking system. We've normalized all of the data. So that means it doesn't matter which tour operator you're looking at, the presentation for your consultants is always the same. It's always got that same layout. It's always the same booking process where you choose your departure date, you choose how many rooms and how many adults. So that doesn't matter if it's Intrepid or G Adventures or Kentucky or Trafalgar. Now you can continue because you found the group tour was departing on the 23rd of October, adjust the date that you depart in Sydney. You can also add additional cities. So we're going to add in Bangkok here. Now, with Bangkok, we're going to drop it in between Ho Chi Minh and Sydney, but you can drag and drop all of those cities in any order that you choose. Now we've clicked confirm, and it's starting to create the itinerary. It started off first with the flights, and we've got over 600 plus different airlines in here. You can filter this by choosing the flight. Here we've chosen Singapore Airlines, and you can see all the Singapore Airlines flights. Next, you can have a look at the hotels. Here we've got over 1 million hotels in the system. You can have this through any of your preferred suppliers to come in through the system. You can sort by alphabeticals, distance, pricing, star rating, And then as you add in each product, it adds it to the itinerary. You go through each of these elements throughout the itinerary, updating which hotel works best for you. But we'll always use your company's default criteria to automate a product if you want us to automate the product going into the system. Activities and attractions is a huge market because you can earn over 20% commission on this. So, you know, when you're not getting the money from the airlines, activities is a great place and a great money earner. In here, we've got over 10,000 tour operators included. And that's not only tour operators, it's DMCs, attractions, events, everything that you could possibly want in the system. We've also got over 3,000 transfer companies across 1,500 airports globally. So it doesn't matter which city that the clients want to go, whether it's in South America, in Spain or South Africa, where we've got all of the different transfer options. Now, initially, when we do search for all the flights, we look for all the one-way segments, because quite often that is the cheapest option. But, you know, as experienced travel people, you know, also there's opportunity to use open jaws, which can be more discounted. So you can see here, we've just done a search to find the best open jaw. So that just took the price from $9,400 down to $9,100. So you just saved $300 by doing that extra search. With the yield, you can manage all of that. So at the moment, we just adjusted that to 12%, which gives us a total yield of $1,099. Or if you want, you can adjust the selling price. So we adjusted to $12,000. That's $6,000 per person, which is a total of $2,800 total yield. So you can always adjust the yield depending on what your arrangement is with that client. You can also personalize the itinerary. Here, you know, add an image that is relevant to the itinerary, you know, so we just put in Thailand. All of the products that we included from Sydney to Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh to Bangkok are all automated in the system. Now you can adjust any of the text that goes into the system by adding your own text in any element. But all the hotel details are in here, your group tour details, your transfers, your flights, your activities, all of the information is automated in there. So, you know, we've just done that booking in under, you know, 3 minutes. That is finding all of the product. We've, you know, adjusted the yield. We've created an itinerary ready to give to the client. Now, if you want to save that as a quote, you can just put in the name, put in their email address and phone number, and that's a saved quote. That client is already a client that will attach to any other quotes you've done for that client. If it's a new client, it will create a new account for them. So that was for George Test. So now George Test has come back, said, "Yep, you know, I want to go on the trip, but it's a little bit, I want to make a couple of little changes, and it's also a little bit expensive." So we'll say, okay, how about we make it $9,999? We're still making $832 yield. He says yes, agrees to that. You click book now. This is a single entry processing. You put in the client's details once. This is a dynamic form and gathers all of the information that is required to book all of the elements in this itinerary. Going through it, you can have a look at all of the different segments before you get to that final payment stage, or the final processing stage to make it active. If there's any additional information required for an activity, for example, for this Sapa tour, they need to know the height. So you add the height, and then you add your payment. You can use your own FPOS machine or payment method within your shop. and then just add that manually, or we can integrate that payment. But when you click on accept, that goes out and does the booking. And now all of that booking is done. Now, if you want to review and manage that booking, you go in here to active bookings. So we go back to George Test. That was who we did the booking for. So we can see it was created on the 11th of June, start date the 20th of October. We go through, we've got all of the passenger details. We can have a look at all of the segments. You'll see some things are confirmed, some things are pending. You know, things that could be pending could be like the flights, because you've got to issue the tickets if you've used your Sabre PCC or GDS PCC to include the flights. Other things could be automated, like your hotels, which you might be buying from Hotel Beds or Sabre CSL or Instant, etc. On the vouchers tab, all of the vouchers are automatically sent through to the system. So if you want to view any of the vouchers, you click on there and you can see the vouchers. These vouchers are also sent through an app. So all of the clients have an app where they can view all of their vouchers that have been created. So yeah, this is where you manage all of the bookings. You can do cancellations here. You can add additional products after the clients have done their initial booking, and you can take initial payments. We can still see that there's 5,000 paid, 4,999 outstanding. Here it's doing the payment now. So, you know, you can add any type of payment form that you choose. Now, so that's a very quick presentation. I felt like it was on a little bit fast forward there, Tim, for a little bit.
It shouldn't have been. It was playing at the normal speed.
Okay.
Maybe we should have slowed it down a bit.
It does seem a little bit fast, but guys, we've got a Q&A session at the end. So any questions?
We see people have asked a few questions there, so we'll cover those questions when we get to the Q&A session.
Yeah.
At the end, because we may end up answering them as we carry on talking.
Yeah.
So that was a quick 9-minute overview of making a booking on eRoam. What we can do, like I said, we'll be sharing this with you. What we can also do, if anyone wants to have access to our demo, we can happily sign you up so you can play around at your own speed as well and experience eRoam for yourselves. We're just going to talk now about applying eRoam to your post-COVID recovery. We're going to start off talking about eRoam and digital transformation. There's a lot of talk about digital transformation. A lot of people are kind of put off it because it sounds quite complex, but I hope you've seen from the video that actually digitally transforming your company isn't that complex. And it's also very important. And this is a survey, this is taken from a report that was done by Skift, the travel technology news website, and AWS, Amazon Web Services. So they asked a lot of travel companies about how COVID was impacting their digital transformation plans. So here's a question: how do you expect the COVID-19 crisis will impact your digital transformation plans? Now, only 10% said it would have no impact at all. 33% said it would have a small impact. 57% said it would have a large impact. So that's 90% of companies expecting COVID-19 to have an impact on digital transformation plans. And the other question here, how important is it for your organization to proceed with its existing digital transformation activities in the light of COVID-19? Basically, 78% said it was either somewhat or much more important. Would you agree with those figures?
Yeah.
Is that what you're seeing when you're talking to potential clients and partners?
Well, you know, look, the travel tech community is a small community, even though we're a global community. And we're working with a number of technologies within our platforms. We're working with mid-offices in Scandinavia, in Hong Kong, in Australia, in South Africa, in the US. And they're all saying the same thing. You know, everyone is busier than they have ever been. We're talking to payment solutions, and you know the advancement in payments over the last 2 years has been enormous, I think because people, I think the tech industry has had time to create all of these great new technologies that they always wanted to do, but didn't have the time to do it. So I think, generally speaking, technology is in a much better place, you know, where we are right now. And that's keeping, you know, everyone busy. And I think companies, travel agents have realized that efficiencies are so important. You know, consumers are used to buying online now, which does make it tougher for our bricks and mortar listeners that are online. But what we've got to do to overcome those online travel agents or compete with them is to offer the efficient technology. And there is no other there's no online travel agent that offers this type of creation of itinerary in minutes. And this is a game changer for inbound tour operators, DMCs, wholesalers, tour operators, and travel agents to really improve their efficiencies. And a lot of companies are realizing that. So yeah, been great uptake, especially in the last 3 months.
Yeah, we're certainly finding that. I mean, talking about digital transformation, one of the things, you know, one of our biggest aims, as Anthony said, is to make digital transformation affordable, easy to implement, and easy to grow. And I've been working in travel tech for a long time. I've also worked for tour operators and DMCs, and we know that there's a lot of travel technology out there that is either very expensive or it's very, very complex, and it takes months, even years to implement. So we've, as Anthony said, we've tried to improve efficiencies. We've tried to make things more affordable, and we've tried to create a solution where you can be up and running in as little as a day. You know, if you sign up to one of our SaaS packages, you can be up and running same day from as little as $15 per user per month. So we're really trying to revolutionize the travel technology industry. Sorry, Anthony, you had something to say there?
Yeah, I think, you know, in the past, you know, if you wanted to do this digital transformation, you've had to invest $10, $20, $100,000 to get these technologies.
Or you could invest a small amount and get a solution that didn't do everything that you needed it to do.
Yeah,
that was what when I was running a tour operator, I was looking for software, and the stuff that did what I needed, I couldn't afford. The stuff that I could afford was just far too limited for me.
Look, this is what the power of cloud technology has enabled. You know, in the old days, you know, to do all of those big technologies that you couldn't afford, a lot of the reason was you needed to have house your own servers in house. You needed to have engineers to look after those servers. It's massive costs. These days, with cloud computing, everything is up in the cloud. You've got the best security ever. You don't need to worry about the air conditioner stopping in your computer room and you're losing all your client's data. You know, with cloud computing, you've got all of the data stored in multiple places with instant backup. And that's
it's all backed up for you. You don't have to worry. I remember having to doing backups every day back in the old days, and having all these big backup tapes sitting around the office.
You don't need to have, you know, a specialist computer technician in house. You know, for $15 per month per user, you can have access to the most advanced technology, and you know you've got the security of, you know, hundreds of people. Well, it's literally thousands of people looking after the servers all around the world. You've got hundreds of people building and spending money on R&D to keep on making sure that the technology used is relevant. And yeah, it's great. It's exciting that you can now, and I'm not only talking about eRoam. There's lots of great technologies out there now that have become made available because of the cloud computing.
Let's also have a look at how eRoam can benefit your human resources and your staffing. This is from Statista, and this is a look at job losses worldwide in the travel industry and in industries that depend on the travel industry. So it's estimated that around 100 million jobs have been lost, which is about a third of the total travel industry workforce. And we can see the vast majority of those have been in Asia Pacific. So if you're a travel company and you're still standing, well, first of all, well done, congratulations. But also, secondly, you're probably working on much smaller staffing numbers than before. Maybe you can't afford to go back to those old numbers. Maybe you don't want to go back to those old numbers, and that's where eRoam can help as well. It can help keep hiring and HR costs low while you're in recovery mode. If it takes 15 minutes to do a quote with eRoam as opposed to several hours before, you can help reduce your staffing levels and like Anthony said, it can improve efficiencies. One of the things that we've done with eRoam is to make it as intuitive as possible, to make it attractive and enjoyable to use so that it requires minimal training. Because we know in the industry, solutions can be complex. You might need to spend a month training someone, then if they leave, you've got to spend a month training their replacement. We think anyone can pretty much log into eRoam and pick it up straight away with a very, very minimal amount of training. And also the huge reductions in quoting time that you offer mean that your teams, as Ant said before, your teams can focus on what's important. People don't get into the travel industry to sit and look at Excel spreadsheets and to spend hours doing quotes and putting documents together. They do it to help provide people's dreams, help putting people's dream trips together and to focus on customer service. And if you reduce the amount of time you spend on quoting and doing paperwork, then your staff can focus on that.
Look, on the HR front, and like this isn't unique to eRoam. Using any technology for efficiencies makes any company more profitable. Like what I like to think when agents are using eRoam, it doesn't mean that they have less consultants. It just means that they can write more business. And also, how does it help HR? It helps HR because you've got happier staff. You've got happier staff talking about travel and selling travel instead of doing all of that boring accounting, processing, cut and pasting into the itineraries. So, I think through the efficiency of cloud computing, what you're doing is you're creating a happier workforce. You're enabling the workforce that you've got now to do a lot more than what they could pre-COVID. So, they can process more bookings, company can grow, and there's just so much benefits right across that. And like that point, about staff being able to work from anywhere. Like we've got a big office in India, and our staff have had to work from home for the last 6 months. It's the same story all around the world. I'm based in Melbourne, where we're the capital of lockdown in Australia. I think we were locked down for over 200 days. So we had to relook at our business model and get people to work from home. That's what eRoam offers. I think one of the big areas that's going to grow is the mobile agents. So, as companies reimagine themselves, during recovery, one of the services might be home visits or customer visits, and all the agent needs is their laptop, and they can do all of they can do the whole planning, they can do the booking, they can do everything from anywhere mobile.
Let's also look at eRoam and product management, product development, because obviously that's something that takes up a lot of time, particularly for tour operators, DMCs, but also travel agents as well. As you saw in the demo,
sorry.
Go on. Do you want to go, Ant? Come on, quick, before I get going.
I was just going to say, there's been a few questions about product that have been through. And, it's very important to understand what eRoam is. eRoam is a technology. It's a technology to help your efficiency. We've got millions of products mapped in the system. So we've got all of the hotels in the world mapped in the system. We've got all of the activities, tour operators. We've got over 600 plus airlines, over 10,000 different transport providers, over 10,000 different tour operators in the system. That's all mapped. Now, when it comes to selling, we do have a wholesale division, so you can buy through our wholesale division. But if you've got a direct deal with any of those networks, you just put in your account code into eRoam, and then you're dealing directly with that supplier. So if you're getting your hotels through hotel beds, for example, or your Largo or Instant, all you need to do is put in your API key, and then as you're using eRoam, that's all your inventory. That's everything that you've negotiated with those hotel providers. If you've got a contract with Intrepid or G Adventures or Travel Corporation, you put, they will, your account manager at each of those companies will give you an API key, and you'll put in that API key, and you are then dealing directly with that supplier. eRoam is not the supplier. So if you've got any questions about that Kentucky tour, you'll talk to Kentucky, but you can still book it through eRoam. If you've got questions about that hotel booking, you'll contact Hotel Beds, but you do it all through eRoam, the actual bookings. If you're making a flight booking on and your GDS is Sabre, because you want to get all your segments through Sabre, you do the booking in eRoam, but that will create a PNR in Sabre. You will still get all of your credits for Sabre, and you'll still issue your tickets as you currently do in Sabre. So it's very important that you understand that you can use all of your own product, but we are here to assist you if you don't have product in any places.
Yeah, so I think that's clarified a few of your questions, but we'll answer the rest of the questions in the Q&A at the end. To get back to product management, eRoam also takes the waiting out of sourcing new products. I know if you, let's say, for example, you're a travel agent and you want to start selling a new destination. Let's say you want to start selling Uzbekistan, for example. Traditionally, you would try and find DMCs in Uzbekistan. You'd email them, and you'd wait for them to get back, and it might take weeks, even a couple of months, to get products together. Whereas using a product like eRoam, you can do a quote for Uzbekistan bang in 10, 15 minutes without having to spend time looking for partners there. And if you are a DMC or a tour operator, you can develop your own product within eRoam. We have an inventory management solution where you can upload your own contracted products, so your own contracted hotels, your own transfers, your own tours and activities. And then you can push that out to eRoam's marketplace. So you can actually push your own product out to our global network of travel agents via our own marketplace. Anthony, you wanted to add something there?
Yeah, no, look, like travel and being in the industry is, we do it because our passion for the industry. And, like we might have that hotel in Portofino that we go to every year. And we've got a special deal because we know the family that own the villa in Portofino, but it can't be found online through any of the traditional distribution channels. So you've got that direct contract with them, and as you said, you can load that statically into the system. Or you might be a specialist in Myanmar or Bhutan, and be running these trips to all of the guest houses in those regions. None of those properties have got live inventory. They're not connected to computers. So yeah, through what we call our IMS. IMS stands for Inventory Management System. Through the IMS, you can load all of those properties. You may still need to email them or phone them because they don't have a computer, but you can still access and manage everything through the eRoam platform. So through eRoam, you can do both dynamic and static management.
B2B is one of our, we're a B2B seller, and we have a lot of B2B clients who sell B2B, and we're all about enhancing the B2B customer experience. This is from a survey by hosting company Magento, from a report. With consumer retail and tech giants raising the bar, there's a growing need for B2B focused brands to make more of an impact. Now, people, particularly during lockdown, have been used to buying online. We're all used to buying things from Amazon or Lazada, or we're used to using Netflix. We're used to getting food delivery by Grab or Uber Eats or Food Panda or whatever. So we're used to having this really slick B2C consumer experience. And now increasingly people are expecting that same experience when they buy B2B as well. 81% of respondents agree that professional buyers are now expecting a consumer grade digital experience from their websites, but only 24% of travel companies are actually making steps towards providing that. And that's something that eRoam does for you straight out of the box. eRoam makes it very easy for you to provide a high level B2B experience. For a tour operator, and you sell to the industry, you sell to travel agents, you can get a really good standard B2B experience simply and affordably. And if you're a tour operator and a DMC, traditionally it might take you a couple of days to do quotes for travel agents. You can now enable your travel agent clients to do self-serve quotes and self-serve booking and to book packages instantly via the portal. So of course, as we said before, if you're reducing quoting time B2B, that frees up your consultants to focus on a much higher level service. And it's the same with B2C. This is an example of a website that we did for a potential client last year. eRoam has its own web CMS, so you can use eRoam to actually build web pages and actually push deals and packages and tours out from eRoam directly onto your own website. And it just makes providing a high-level B2C experience simple and affordable. We've already got clients using that, haven't we, Anne?
Yeah.
So clients go live in the last couple of months who are already selling B2C.
And what's exciting at the moment, we're working with all enterprise clients, which means everything is still hands-on, and we manually onboard all of our new clients. What we're introducing next month is a fully automated onboarding system, and that's what's really exciting, because from the fully automated system you can manage all of the content and everything yourself as you onboard for your internal system, and then as you create an external system which you're sharing through your distribution, whether that be agents or consumers, you can also manage that. So yeah, it's really exciting, the new SaaS product that you'll start hearing a lot more about over the next quarter.
So that's really a look at how a simple look at how eRoam can power your recovery from the COVID pandemic. Just a quick look through our pricing and packaging. We've got several levels of SaaS, so software as a service, where you can get quickly sign up and you can get started within one day. For single person agents, we start at $59 a month. And then we have other packages. We have professional for $99 a month for 4 users. Our most popular package is our premium one, $149 a month for 10 users, so only $15 a month. And we have a premium plus model, which includes our cruising module as well, which has live cruising pricing and inventory, which is something that we know a lot of people in the industry are crying out for. And then we have enterprise and OTA packages as well, which are on request. So whatever size of your business, whatever your requirements are, then we have a package to suit you. You can find out more about our pricing at eRoam.com. You have anything to add on pricing there, Anne?
No, I think you've got all of that summed up.
Yeah, okay. So let's go into, sorry, those are our contact details. You can find out more at eRoam.com, or you can contact me for more information. tim.russell@eRoam.com. I look after all our Asia inquiries. So if you're based in Asia, please drop me an email and I'm happy to do a call with you to explain more about how eRoam can help your business. So let's finish off with a Q&A. I see we have quite a few questions here. I think we may have answered some of these while we were talking. First one from Paraslakia. Can we have our preferred suppliers inventory routed through this platform? Yes, you very much can. Do you want to answer that one, Anthony? Or?
Yeah, so we've got a selection of products and suppliers already in the system, like as we spoke about, Intrepid, G Adventures, all of the travel corporation brands. We've got different hotel aggregators, activity aggregators like Viator. So all of these products are there ready to go out of the box. If you've got any additional suppliers that you want added, you can either add manual contracts with the hotels, etc., or there's also the possibility of integrating additional APIs if you want your system to talk to your supplier's system.
Yeah, if you have a preferred API partner that we don't have, then we can always build that connection for you. So that's always possible.
For a fee.
Fee, of course. If we're doing flight bookings to the platform, how will that be counted under our productivity since we have annual contracts with the airlines?
Yeah, so as I was saying, like at the moment we've got Sabre in the system, so you can put, and so we put in your PCC. So every time that you do a booking in Sabre, it creates a PNR in your native Sabre platform. So you're getting all of the credits for every segment that you do. We're also offering next quarter, integrations with NDC. We've also got LCC content through the likes of Mr. Flight, which offer over 600 airlines in their system with all of the major LCCs included. So you can have that instantly if you want that.
Okay, thanks, Sam. We have a question from Mary here. Do we have customer service based in the Philippines who can answer our concerns? We are a global company. We have 24/7 service if you're one of our clients. I'm based in Bangkok, so I'm pretty much in the same time zone as you. So if you at any point, if you have any questions for me, if you decide to become an eRoam user, then I'll always be around to answer your questions.
But this was reliant on guests inquiries, and so we've got the supported service for all of the technology for the eRoam platform. But if you're booking a hotel bed with hotel beds, you contact hotel beds. If you're booking a tour with Kentucky, you book it with Kentucky. We don't even see that transaction. Our system, if you book a Kentucky tour, it books the Kentucky tour. And then Kentucky send you an invoice and then you pay Kentucky. We're not part of the transaction. We're just automating and creating the efficiency of doing that booking. Your contract is with the service provider that you've chosen to choose from. Now, of course, if you want to use our wholesale department, that's a different story. But generally speaking, you would be using all of your own direct contracts and content in the system.
Another question from Mary: how can we apply as a supplier for our activities to be included in your system?
You send Tim an email and tell him that you want to be a supplier, and then he'll send you back a quote.
Exactly. Very, very, very simple. Just drop us an email and then we can get you set up as a tour operator, and we can explain to you how you can use the IMS to put your own products and push those out to our network. So that's fairly straightforward.
Got a question here on GDS and NDC.
Yeah.
So I think we've already answered. We've got Sabre integrated. NDC, we're currently integrating Vertil, which is an NDC switch, which has most of the major airlines that have NDC in it. You've also got through Sabre the ability to access some NDC content, and that NDC is such a new area. Not a lot has happened over the last few years, but it seems to be ramping up now, and we're continually adding more content on that front.
Okay, and then another question from Swetang. Does eRoam allow you to integrate local online consolidators, and how do we sort the payment cost if we're integrating an Indian supplier?
Okay, so TBO is a good one. I'm talking to the founders of TBO about adding them into the system, but that's only one of many different suppliers or aggregators that we can offer. We don't have TBO in the system at the moment, but we've got many aggregators and consolidators in the system that you can access. Now you've asked about sending payments internationally through credit cards. However you deal with each of your suppliers is a commercial deal between you and the supplier. So if you're dealing with TBO, you would continue to deal directly with TBO as you do currently. We don't get involved in that transaction.
Okay, thanks, Anne. We've got quite a few more, so we're not going to take any more questions now, but we'll answer the ones that have been asked so far because we're starting to run out of time. One from Neil Giolito. Thanks for the impressive demo. You mentioned some hotel tour operator and transfer supplier numbers. Can you please provide some numbers for your Australian suppliers? You got those figures off the top of your head, Anne?
Well, like in most cities, we've got 1 to 200 operators through our aggregators. We've got every hotel in Australia through our multiple aggregators. We've got all of the airlines. So it's a large number. I can't give you the exact number, but we've got content in every city basically.
If it's a major Australian supplier, then we'll have them, and we'll likely have quite a lot of smaller ones as well when it comes to things like transfers and tours and activities.
We've got transfers in every airport around Australia. We've got we've got the major tour operators, G Adventures, Intrepid, Kentucky, Trafalgar, Cost Saver, all that operate throughout Australia. We've got all of the major airlines: Rex, Jetstar, Qantas, Virgin. We've got all of the major hotel chains and independent hotels. So it's extensive, the product that's available.
Yeah. From another one from Paras. What if we aren't working on Sabre? Does eRoam provide connectivity with Amadeus?
We've got a third-party switch, CTW, which is currently being integrated. That would, which you'd be able to access all of the GDSs, and through that, again, you still retain all of your segment credits, etc. But if you wanted more information on that, you'd contact CTW, or Tim could do an introduction.
One from Paris. How do the commercials work if you want to add our supplier inventory API onto eRoam? So I assume that means you want to put your own, you've got your own API for travel content? You want to...
Yeah, same. That was sort of asked earlier on, and yes, so
yes,
send through the product, and normally we would get this request by our licensee. So we would be working with an agency group, and they would say, okay, we do a lot of business with this company. We want their product integrated. And that is when we go out and say, okay, you guys have an API that we can integrate. And the agents that are licensing our product would pay for that integration. If you want to be added without any agents actually requesting for you to be added, then that would be a commercial decision for you and your account manager in these circumstances, Tim.
One from Nitesh. White labeled solution is available. Yes, of course it is. We have a white labeled app, but we can also white label the eRoam interface for when your travel agent clients log on as well. So yes,
correct. And that
use your branding.
And that can be at an enterprise level or a SaaS level. So at the moment, we're doing all of that at an enterprise level, and you can have whatever you want at an enterprise level. At a SaaS level, which we're launching next quarter, you will have a number of templates, and you can style and change it to suit as you please.
And our final question from Paras. You've asked lots of good questions today, Paras. Thanks for that. If I'm checking a hotel rate on Marina Bay Sands, then will eRoam check the rates through all suppliers of eRoam, including our supplier API, and give the cheapest offer on that hotel?
Well, first of all, I've got to say, Marina Bay Sands, how upset is everyone that we're not going to be able to go to ITV Asia this year?
Yeah, we were looking forward to that.
we'd even booked to attend. Yeah, great property, great conference. But yeah, so with Marina Bay Sands, so let's say you had that you had API keys with with your Largo Instant and hotel beds, and you had your own direct contract. When you actually do the search for Marina Bay Sands, it will show you what the rates are for each of the different suppliers. So it's a bit like meta search, but it's meta search for in internal use. And so you can choose, okay, you know, you'd prefer to do it through hotel beds because it's the cheapest, or you prefer to pay an extra $5 with your direct contract because you might know that you've got an override deal where you're going to get an override deal by booking so many properties direct, or you might have a deal that they get a free upgrade, etc. So you can choose which supplier you want to book through that booking process.
Okay. Good. Well, thanks for all your questions, everybody. We've had a lot of questions today. That's good to see. To follow up, you will get an email from us probably within the next couple of days, and that will have a link to the video of today's webinar. So you can go through it again and see the demo again. In the meantime, if you have any further inquiries, please visit our website at eRoam.com. You'll see lots of information on there, including how we can help tour operators, how we can help travel agents. We've got a blog on there. We've got lots of useful blog posts on there. We've got pricing on there, and you can also contact us, and we'll happily set up a live demo for you over Zoom as well. If you need more information or you want to set up a demo, or you'd like to sign up, then please email me, tim.russell@eRoam.com. Is that another question we've had there? Oh, sorry, we've got one more question from Paras, which you'll quickly answer. Can we create corporate login IDs under us for them to check online and book their travel if they want to? So I assume you mean other people in your organization, Paras, right?
I was taking it more for the corporate market, having corporate accounts. So yeah, could do it. You know, we are set up as a leisure platform, but the difference between leisure and corporate are becoming very close. You know, in the old days when you did a corporate booking, it had to be fully refundable, fully changeable, etc. And that's why you booked everything. You know, the most expensive flight rather than the cheapest flight. These days, with all the cost cutting, you know, companies say that you've got to travel on LCCs if it's cheaper. So more discussion. It hasn't been built as a traditional corporate travel tool, but if you're using leisure content for corporate clients, then we can make it work for you.
Exactly, and you can have your clients log in to the eRoam system and make bookings as well, so that is possible.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to end it there. It's midday, so thanks very much for attending. We hope you found it useful.
3 o'clock in Melbourne.
3 o'clock in Melbourne, yes. We'll follow up in the next couple of days and send you the link. In the meantime, thanks for attending. Please keep a lookout for future eRoam webinars, and we hope to be working with you very soon. And thanks, Anthony, for your contribution today as well.
And thank you, Tim, for hosting the webinar.
No problem.
Cheers.
Okay, thanks everybody. We hope to talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.